One time a queen sat and sitting at a window. She pricked her finger in the needle, so that 3 drops of blood fell upon the snow. How pretty her blood looked, dazzling on the whiteness. And the queen said, "Ah me, if only I had a child with skin as white as snow, and with lips as red as blood, and hair as black as the ebony window." In the spring she had a child same as she had imagined, and everyone called her Snow White. But sadly, the queen died, and the king married a new queen whose heart was evil. This wicked queen had a magical mirror, and she asked to this mirror, she asked, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And the mirror always replied, "Thou, O queen, are the fairest of them all." But the Snow White grew up and more beautiful every passing year. And one day the evil queen asked again to the mirror the same question. The mirror answered, "Oh queen, if truth be told, Snow White was the fairest." No, she was 16 years old. The queen had been very mad and almost smashed the mirror in her rage. The next morning she summoned a hunter and gave him orders. "Take the Snow White out and don't bother to bring back anything but her heart." The hunter led Snow White to the woods where, taking a pity on her innocent heart, he told her to run and hide. She ran and ran, cutting herself on brambles. At the same moment, the hunter brought a herd of a deer to the queen. Snow White fled until she came upon a cottage in the middle of the woods. The door was open. She went inside and saw of the cottage were 7 dwarfs, who spent the day mining for gold in the heart of mountain. When they came home that night, they lit their 7 candles and saw some uninvited visitor was sleeping in one of their 7 beds. When the sun rose, Snow White awoke. How frightened she was when she saw the 7 dwarfs, but they were friendly, and they asked her name. "Snow White," she replied. The eldest dwarf said, "Well, Snow White, if you would take care of our house, then you may live here." And Snow White agreed with all her heart. Every morning the 7 dwarfs went out to the mountain, and Snow White stayed at home to cook and keep the house. Meanwhile, the queen asked her mirror, who was the fairest of them all, and mirror answered, "O Lady Queen, how far ye be. Snow White is the fairer far to see. Over the hills and far away, she lives with 7 dwarfs today." "Liar!" screeched the queen in her rage. But the hunter must have tricked her, so she decided to dress herself like an old peasant woman. After that, she went to the dwarf's house and knocked the door, and she said, "Pretty things, very cheap, very cheap." Snow White opened the window and replied to the queen, "Good day, good woman. What are you wears?" And the queen said, "All sorts of pretty things, my dear." "Thank you," said Snow White. "Your scarf and laces are indeed pretty, but I would not buy any today." "It was pity," said the old woman, "but never mind. I would give you this apple, and perhaps you should remember me another day." Snow White thanked to the old woman and bit into the fruit. Little did she realize that the wicked queen had poisoned the rosy side of the apple, the part that Snow White now swallowed. That night the dwarf came home, and saw Snow White lying upon the floor with no breath came from her lips. They sat around and her wept for 3 whole days. Then they made a coffin of shining glass, laid her in it, and placed her on top of the mountain. It happened that a prince, out hunting, came across the glass coffin. He was very much taken by the pale girl who lay so still inside it, and he thought she must be still left there by the ancients. He ordered his servant to pick up the unusual object and carry it home. In doing so, one of them stumbled, and the glass box fell to the ground. It shook terribly, and the piece of poisonous apple which had looked in Snow White's throat came out, so that she opened her eyes, alive once more. Snow White and the prince were soon wed. They and the seven dwarfs lived a long and happy life, while the wicked queen went mad with envy, for she could never be the fairest of the all. 10.